Book of Heaven, Volume 19, 21st to the 29th of June 1926. Page 106 to 112. June 21, 1926. Saint Aloysius was a flower that bloomed from the humanity of our Lord, made bright by the rays of the divine will. The souls who will possess the kingdom of the divine will have their roots within its sun. This morning, having received Holy Communion, I received it as usual in the most holy will of God, offering it to my dear Saint Aloysius, not only the communion, but all the goods contained in the most holy will of God, for his accidental glory. Now, while doing this, I saw that all the goods contained in the supreme volition, like many rays of light, rays of beauty and of multiple colors, inundated the dear saint, giving him an infinite glory. And my sweet Jesus, moving in my interior, told me, "My daughter, Aloysius is a flower and a saint bloomed from the earth of my humanity and made bright by the reflections of the rays of the sun of my will. In fact, though holy, pure, noble and united hypostatically to the Word, my humanity was earth, and Aloysius, more than flower, bloomed from my humanity, pure, holy, noble, possessing the root of pure love, in such a way that in each leaf of his flower one can see written, love. But what renders him more beautiful and brilliant are the rays of my will, to which he was always submitted, rays which gave such development to this flower as to render it unique on earth and in heaven. Now, my daughter, if Aloysius is so beautiful because he bloomed from my humanity, what will be of you and of all those who will possess the kingdom of my will? These flowers will not bloom from my humanity, but will have their roots within the sun of my will. In it is formed the flower of their life. They grow and bloom in the very sun of my volition which, jealous of these flowers, will keep them eclipsed within its own light. In each petal of these flowers one will see, written, all the specialties of the divine qualities. They will be the enchantment of all heaven, and all will recognize in them the complete work of their Creator." And while he was saying this, my sweet Jesus opened his breast and showed, inside it, an immense sun, in which he was to plant all these flowers, and his love and jealousy toward them was so great, that he would not let them bloom outside his humanity, but inside himself. June 26, 1926. One who possesses the kingdom of the divine will, operates in a universal way and will possess universal glory. Universal requital to the Sovereign Queen. I was doing my usual acts in the supreme volition according to my usual way, that is, embracing everything, creation, redemption and everyone, to be able to give back to my Creator the return of love and of glory that everyone owes him. And my sweet Jesus, moving in my interior, told me, "My daughter, the little daughter of my will must not only think about and occupy herself with defending the universal rights of her Creator, giving him the return of love and of glory that everyone owes him as if all were one, in such a way that he may find everything in her, because our will involves everything and everyone, and one who lives in it possesses universal ways, therefore she can give us everything and we can recover everything, but, as our daughter, she must also defend the rights of the Sovereign Queen. She operated in a universal way, and therefore she had a love, a glory, a prayer, a reparation, a sorrow, for her Creator, for all and for each creature. She let not one act escape her which creatures owed their Creator, and enclosing all in her maternal heart, she loved all and each one in a universal way. So, in her we found all our glory, she denied nothing to us, she gave us not only that which she was supposed to give us directly, but also that which the other creatures denied to us. And to act as a magnanimous and most loving mother, who pours her own self out for her children, she generated everyone in her sorrowful heart. Each fiber of it was a piercing sorrow in which she gave life to each of her children, up to the fatal blow of the death of her Son God. The sorrow of this death placed the seal of the regeneration of life upon the new children of this sorrowful mother. Now, a virgin queen who loved us so much, who defended all of our rights, a mother so tender who had love and sorrows for all, deserves that our little newborn of our Supreme will love her for all, requite her for all, and embracing all of her acts in our will, place her act united to hers, because she is inseparable from us. Her glory is ours, and ours is hers. More so, since our will places everything in common. On hearing this, I remained a little confused, and as though unable to do what Jesus was saying, and I prayed him to give me the ability to do it. And Jesus, resuming his speaking, told me, My daughter, my will contains everything, and as though jealous, it preserves all of its acts as if they were one alone. So it preserves all the acts of the sovereign queen as if they were all its own, because she did everything in it. Therefore, my will itself will make them present to you. Now, you must know that one who has done good to all, who has loved all, and has operated in a universal way for God and for all, has rights over everything and over everyone, and with justice. Operating in a universal way is the divine way, and my celestial Mama was able to operate with the ways of her Creator because she possessed the kingdom of our will. Now, having operated in our supreme will, she has the rights of the possessions which she formed in our kingdom, and who else can requite her if not one who lives in the same kingdom? In fact, only in this kingdom is there universal operation, the love that loves everyone, that embraces everything, and from which nothing escapes. But you must know that one who possesses the kingdom of my will on earth, has the right to universal glory in heaven, and this, in a natural and simple way. My will embraces everything and involves everyone, so, from one who possesses it come all goods along with the glory that these goods contain, and while universal glory comes from her, she also receives it. And do you think it is trivial to possess universal glory in the celestial fatherland? Therefore, be attentive, the kingdom of the supreme will is immensely rich. There are coins that spring forth, so everyone expects something from you, and also my Mama wants the return for the universal love she had for all generations. And you, in return, are due universal glory in the celestial fatherland, the exclusive inheritance of one who has possessed the kingdom of my will on earth. June 29, 1926. Each created thing contains an image of the divine qualities, and the divine will glorifies these qualities in each created thing. After I had gone through most bitter days of privations, when my beloved Jesus came, to cheer me, he spent several hours with me. He made himself seen of a very young age, of a rare enrapturing beauty. He sat on my bed, near me, and told me, "My daughter, I know that you cannot be without me, because I am more than your very life for you. So, if I did not come you would lack the substance of life. Besides, we have so many things to do together in the kingdom of the supreme will. Therefore, when you see that I do not come quickly, do not oppress yourself so much, be sure that I will come, because my coming is necessary for you and for me, because I must see the things of my kingdom, and while directing it, I must enjoy it. How can you have the slightest doubt that in a kingdom so longed for by me, the King of Triumph might be missing? Therefore, come into my arms, that your Jesus may strengthen you." And while saying this, he took me in his arms, he clasped me tightly to his breast, and rocking me he told me, "Sleep, sleep on my breast, my little newborn of my will." In the arms of Jesus I was so very little, and did not feel like sleeping. I wanted to enjoy Jesus, I wanted to tell him so many things, now that I had the good of his prolonged presence with me. But Jesus continued to rock me, and I, without wanting to, fell into a sweet, sweet sleep. But while sleeping I could hear the beating of the heart of Jesus speaking. It was saying, "My will," and then another heartbeat, as though answering, "Love do I want to infuse in the little daughter of my will." In the heartbeat, "My will," a large circle of light was formed, and in the heartbeat, "Love," another circle, smaller, in such a way that the large one would enclose the small one. While I was sleeping, Jesus would take these circles formed by his heartbeat and would seal them in my whole person. I felt I was being all fortified and strengthened in the arms of Jesus. How happy I felt. But, clasping me more tightly to his breast, Jesus woke me up and told me, "My little daughter, let us go around throughout the whole creation in which the supreme will contains its life, does its distinct act in each created thing and, triumphant of itself, magnifies and glorifies all of its supreme qualities in a perfect way. If you look at the sky, your eye cannot see its boundaries. Wherever it looks there is sky, nor can you tell where it ends or where it begins. This is the image of our supreme being, which has no beginning and no end, and in the azure sky our will praises and glorifies our eternal being which has no beginning and no end. This sky, studded with stars, is the image of our being. Just as the sky is one, so is the divinity one single act. But in the multiplicity of the stars, our works add extra which descend from this single act, and the effects and the works of this single act are innumerable, and in the stars our will magnifies and glorifies the effects and the multiplicity of our works, which include the angels, man and all created things. See how beautiful it is to live in my will, in the unity of this supreme light, and to be aware of the meaning of all created things, and to praise, magnify, glorify the Supreme Creator with His very will in all of our images which each created thing contains. But, move on to look at the sun. Under the vault of the heavens one can see a limited circumference of light which contains light and heat, and descending down below, invests all the earth. This is the image of the light and love of the Supreme Maker, who loves everyone and is good to all. From the height of His majesty He descends down below, deep into the hearts, even into hell, but He does it quietly, without clamor, wherever He is. Oh, how our will glorifies and magnifies our eternal light, our inextinguishable love and our all-seeingness. Our will murmurs in the sea, and in the immensity of the waters which hide innumerable fishes of every species and color. It glorifies our immensity that envelopes everything and holds all things as though in the palm of its hand. Our will glorifies the image of our immutability in the firmness of the mountains, the image of our justice in the roaring of the thunder and in the bolt of lightning, the image of our joy in the little bird that sings, trills and warbles, the image of our moaning love in the turtle-dove that moans, the image of the continuous call that we make to man in the lamb that bleats, saying in each bleating, me, come to me, come to me, and our will glorifies us in the continuous call we make to the creature. All created things have a symbol of ours, an image of ours, and our will has the commitment to magnify us and glorify us in all our works, because, since the work of creation is work of the supreme fiat, it was befitting for it to preserve our glory, whole and permanent, in all created things. Now, our Supreme Will wants to give this commitment as inheritance to one who must live in the unity of its light, because it would not be befitting to live in its light and not identify with the acts of the supreme fiat. Therefore, my little daughter, all created things as well as my will await you in each created thing, to repeat its very acts, to glorify and magnify your Creator with the very divine will. Now, who can say all the images of our Creator that all creation encloses? If I wanted to say everything I would never end, so, in order not to be too long I had to say just a few things, and I did it to obey, and for fear of displeasing Jesus.